10, I was able to take my brothers down in a body wrestle, and then I would slip out of a body lock like a slippery fish. I was quite a vicious arm wrestler, and I could run bases like a bullet train. I loved snatching night crawlers too, for fish bait, of course. And then often we would take a piece of liver and wrap a little string around it and go to the river and catch crayfish. That was really fun. And for myself, when I was feeling a little tense, I would grab bugs and squish them in my bare hands. I was good. And one of the finer moments of my tomboy strength came when I grabbed the neighborhood boy's head in a headlock. Like this, my head's coming off, my head's coming off. My brothers were laughing away. Yeah, I got him. Well, I was quite an accomplished tomboy. What every girl wants to be. So you understand a little bit my difficult transition to girlhood. You know, when you get a competitive nature about you, it's hard to let that go. And when my mother learned that I was going out on a bowling date, she suggested, let him win once in a while. And of course, it didn't help that my date was slightly intimidated when my 3 brothers came to the door and greeted him like a 3-man defense lineup team on a football team. I must admit, those early days of dating, I probably crushed quite a few male egos along the way, but it was unintentional, you have to understand. It was just, I needed to learn a new game. Well, I did get to go steady. His name was Jeff, and he had a great French last name. And girls, for the guys that don't know this, they like to string their first name with their boyfriend's last name to see the ring of it, because I was sure we were going to be married. He was really a nice guy, but he was pigeon-toed, and I was sure that this would be an affliction with my children. And then there was a marvelous Melvin. He wasn't all that marvelous. And I didn't particularly like his name. I mean, can you see me as Mrs. Melvin E. Lobbs? But he promised me dinner and a movie. And of course, I was always up for food. And a movie, of course. So I was a little suspicious when he maneuvered me up to the balcony. And so, sure enough, he makes his move. And I had the tendency, I wanted to go, but I held back the elbow in his ribs because I was practicing my ladylike demeanor. And I just lifted his arm and put it back on his lap. Oh. Then we headed to the restaurant for a little food. We wiggled into the booth, and there in the middle of the table was 75 cents that the busboy had left. And Melvin quickly diverted it underneath the salt and pepper. I thought, geez, that's odd. Never had seen that one before. And it all came clear when we were finished. He simply moved the 75 cents back to the middle of the table. Oh, that's it. That's what they call double tipping. Another time, I remember when I think I was about 18 years old, I was doing a summer show at Sunset Playhouse. It was great fun. And one conversation that my girlfriends and I had in the locker room or in the dressing room was a little bit about the value of falsies. Now, falsies are before Wonder Bras for the gentlemen. And we decided all together that we would make a commitment to wear them. Man alive, were they great. I mean, I was hooked, right? I had cleavage for the first time in my life. Of course, I was only 18 years old, but it was more than I had ever experienced. So I met Luke around that time of my this experience, and I love the name. I mean, who wouldn't love a Luke? And he asked me out on a first date to go to the beach. And so I put my swimming suit on, and I thought, well, I think I'll take my friends with me, my 2 new friends. I looked good, let me tell you. And so we're having a great time at the beach, you know, and I'm just enamored with Luke. And he says, let's go in the water and cool off. And I carelessly chase my way to the water, and I jump in, we frolic around, and then it happened. What's that? He pointed, and there was my foamy booster floating along the water, and I thought, oh no! Oh, I'll ignore it. No, I can't ignore it. I've got one here and one there. I'll take this one out. Oh no, then I'll have 2 foamy floaties all over the water. No, I can't do that. So then I started to swim, and I swam, reaching, and finally grabbed the stupid thing, and I tucked it under my suit. I thought, oh great, now I've got a lump at my hip and a left boob that's deflated. and Luke is right here, and we're headed toward the towels. And I thought, oh, this is just too much work to be a well-endowed girl. Yes, those were some days. But I learned some lessons back then, and I want to share with you a few of those lessons that I learned. You know, when you're encouraged as a young girl to be scrappy and tough, it gives you bounce-back ability, a skill that's very useful in today's world for success. I learned that winning is great, but the game can be fun too. And my brothers, well, my brothers are my brothers. They're history. They're part of me. We love, we share, we laugh, and that's priceless. I also learned that a name and the outside package aren't nearly as important as the person inside. I learned that classy does not include sneaky and cheap. Thank you, Melvin. And finally, it's just not worth a foamy booster to be anything but real.